Question number 11, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Workplace Relations and Safety and asks, does he stand by his statement that, quote, what will improve our health and safety record is changes in behaviour and attitude, and that is what I am promoting, end quote.
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr Speaker, I stand by the full statement I made, which was that, quote, a very strong legislative framework is important in improving health and safety, but laws alone will not prevent the types of deaths and injuries the member describes any more than road rules prevent death and injury on the road. What will improve health and safety record is changes in behaviour and attitude, and that is what I am promoting, end quote.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Does he agree with the Employers and Manufacturers Association when it says, quote, employers for the most part are prepared to lead much of that attitudinal shift, but the strongest and most prominent leadership, even if it's unpopular among a small proportion of voters, must come from government. Government must show real leadership in driving this legislation, or too many New Zealanders will continue to be injured or die in the workplace.
Very good. Order. The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Well, Mr Speaker, largely yes, but I don't believe one necessarily leads the other. Government needs to work with business, with unions and with workers to change behaviour and improve health and safety.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Does he agree with the Employers and Manufacturers Association when it says, quote, if there was one piece of employment legislation demanding a lead role from government, this is it. This is what the Pike River inquiry and subsequent inquiries around issues of health and safety have found. This is why we must act. New Zealand's she'll be right attitude just isn't working for our workforce.
Come on, Michael. The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Speaker, I haven't had that quote, but if that's what EMA said, yes, I do agree with it, and I believe that the government is showing exactly the sort of leadership the EMA is calling for. This is the biggest health and safety reform in nearly 25 years. It's really important that we get it right, and that's what we're doing.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Does he agree with the Employers and Manufacturers Association in the letter they sent him that in order to prevent incidents like the tragic recent lime quarry accident in North Canterbury, where the owner of the mine was operating without proper certification, WorkSafe needs to be well-resourced and active in enforcing workplace health and safety law?
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
I certainly agree that WorkSafe needs to be well-resourced, which is why the government provided $35 million extra funding for the regulator, bringing ongoing funding up to $80 million a year. There are now 167 health and safety inspectors, including 17 new high-hazard inspectors.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Iain Lees-Galloway.
Does he share the concerns of the Employers and Manufacturers Association that there are too few WorkSafe inspectors and even planned increases will come up 30 short of ILO standards, and that without proper enforcement of the law, his desired change in behaviour and attitude will not come about because WorkSafe will not have the resources to make it happen?
Listen to the EMA for one.
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Certainly to the extent that the government recognised that it did need to increase the number of health and safety inspectors on the ground, that's exactly what we have done. What's also really important is that we target appropriate risk. So WorkSafe's role is to make sure that they focus on those risky enterprises and activities in order that we do prevent those deaths and injuries.
Question number 12, Paul Foster.